It's 9:30 Monday morning. You just got your second cup of coffee, and then the power goes out. A cyber attack, some sort of event just hit, and now your city is dark while you're at work. What are you gonna do? Hey everybody, and welcome. My name is Scott and I live in Austin, Texas. If you're new here, I work downtown near the Capitol, but I live pretty far north, about 40 miles away. Today I'd like to talk to you about a situation, about a scenario that you may or may not have thought of. As I mentioned, I'm 40 miles away from where I work, and so the idea of bugging out or walking home is pretty far-fetched for me. But what if something happened while you were at work? Now, I'm not necessarily talking about a world ending, but something like a cyber attack or a chemical spill or something that you're at work and you're essentially trapped. You don't want to sit in traffic for 12 hours. Sometimes it takes me 3 hours to get home, depending on how backed up I-35 is. So if you have a cyber attack, truck spill, any sort of number of thing where you might want to just kind of hunker down in place for a day or maybe two. I see this as not an impossible situation. Maybe there's a freak flood or a storm that you were unprepared for on top of all of the things that are going on in the world these days. So I started building this about a week ago. I call this my oh shit office kit. And I have a couple of parameters in here, but I'm going to talk about kind of the categories and let's get a little reality check. So I'm inside my office building, so I'm not worried about shelter, not worried about bathrooms because we've got bathrooms, not really all that worried about water. So let's assume that the power is out. It's a cyber attack or something like that, and I'm in my office in the dark. So shelter is pretty well okay. We'll get to that. Water is kind of iffy. We'll talk about it in a second. So I've got some very broad categories, and they all kind of overlap with each other. So power, communications, meaning information, food, lights, sleep, because I'm going to be there at least one overnight cycle, comfort, and then water as kind of a backup. So I went on an Amazon binge and picked up some things that I didn't have, so I tried to lay out these parameters. And the biggest thing is trying to make it all fit. This is an $8 duffel bag from Amazon, and it's like 16 inches long. And this is perfect because this fits in the bottom drawer of my office filing cabinet. So it doesn't take, I had to clean all the junk out of my cabinet, which you should do because you know you've got a bunch of rat's nest in there. So I cleaned out my bottom filing cabinet, and this fits. So I can lock my cabinet drawer, and I have my kit ready if I needed to stay in my office. All right, so let's talk about power. Hey, if you're enjoying this, hit the thumbs up and drop a comment down below. Thanks. I love USB power banks. I have like 6 of them within eyeshot of me right now. Ankler is the big brand name. This is a generic off-brand. This is like a 40,000 milliamp that I caught on sale for like 30 bucks. I'm fine with the cheapie. Anklers charge a little bit faster, but this will charge your phone, your lights, and other communication gear, which we'll get to in a second. So, and having a big battery will let you share this with your coworkers if you like them. So having a backup power, obviously always a good thing. Let's talk about communications and information. I am a ham radio operator. I have been a ham for 13 or 14 years. And there's pretty good tower saturation in downtown Austin. There's a repeater called the 940, which covers a huge area downtown. So I do actually keep a ham radio in my car. I don't have it in this kit, but if you're watching this channel, you probably have a Baofeng. So keeping that handy programmed to your downtown repeaters, probably a good idea. What I recommend more so though is an FM radio, AM, FM radio. For information gathering, I find FM radio to be more robust than ham stuff, in my opinion, in my experience. This is a really neat item. It was like $20, and it's USB, has a rechargeable battery inside of it, and also will take AAA batteries. So it gives you the ability to power it both directions. Hopefully you've got some AAA batteries in someone's desk drawer you could steal, probably from a laser pointer or projection clicker, or if not, I can power it off of my battery pack that I just demonstrated. So having a way to receive information so you can figure out what's going on in the outside world and when it might be safe for you to attempt to leave. I am also a really big fan of these POC link radios. I have made multiple videos on them, and they are part of my family's emergency communication plan. It is true that they operate off of cell phone towers. So if you are in a 100% grid down situation, it's the end of the world, these are not going to work. I'm talking about a localized thing, you know, it's a terrorist attack or something like that, where you have some infrastructure. Why I like these is because they will work on any band on any carrier. I was part of the Verizon cell phone outage a couple of months ago. My Verizon phone did not work, and these did. So for the money, for the cost, I think that they are robust enough that it's something that you should consider. So if we have an event where the towers are still functioning, just overloaded, you've got a much better chance of getting through with one of these than with a traditional phone. I think it's something worth considering. Okay, let's talk about lighting. I have like 5 or 6 flashlights in my desk drawer, and everybody knows it. So I have a multitude of handheld flashlights. I really, really like the LA Police Gear series of lights, the F0, F1, and F7. I carry one in my pocket all the time now. I have one in each of my cars. What's really neat is they're magnetic, and so since everyone has metal filing cabinets, it's really convenient to be able to stick it to a cabinet and free up your hand. So a good, solid flashlight, preferably one that's USB rechargeable, so you can recharge it off of your big battery. You also might consider a headlamp. I know they look really dorky, but they are incredibly convenient. Think about if you have to go to the bathroom in the dark. Would you like to be carrying this around? Yes, most offices have emergency lighting, but that emergency lighting is going to last for like maybe 3 hours, and we're looking at like a 36-hour time period. You're going to have to go to the bathroom at some point. Another really inexpensive prep is these light sticks. I used to be a huge fan of Glowsticks until LEDs kind of came around and crushed them. I found this package of 10 for like $8, so I got these under $1 a piece. They're not real bright, but again, to save your battery here and just for some ambient light, like to throw down the hallways or to leave in the bathrooms or something like that, so that way you can navigate without falling and hurting yourself. Having a package of glow sticks in your bag doesn't cost a whole lot and gives you a way to conserve your battery life, something to consider. Let's talk comfort for a second. So I made a video a few years ago about my Italy vacation disaster where I got trapped overnight in New Jersey coming off of an international flight, and my bags were checked. So I learned the importance of having a fresh set of clothes just from a morale perspective. So I got a little bag here, socks, underwear, t-shirt, so I can go get something fresh on. Got a Ziploc bag, keep it dry, keep it clean. So just a simple change of clothes will just make you feel a whole lot better. If you want to include some other hygiene stuff, deodorant, toothbrush, baby wipes is something I'm going to be adding to this. And again, you've got facility, you've got a bathroom there, so I'm not all that worried about it. I can just take some paper towels and kind of sponge bath myself in the bathroom if I had to, but having a change of clothes Strongly recommended. Again, we talked about this is going to be an overnight, so you're going to have to go to sleep at some point. So this is a fleece blanket I got off Amazon. It was like $8. I'm not going to open it because they did an amazing job of vacuum sealing this. This is slightly bigger than a twin, so I can find a conference room or get underneath my desk or something like that and get some sleep. Combined with that is this little blow up camp pillow. It's mostly for your rear end. I think this it's either Ozark Trail, so it's either Walmart or Academy. So I can rest my little head on as I'm underneath my desk trying to get a little bit of sleep. This was like $1 or $2, and this was about $8. So way to kind of be a little bit more comfortable. So let's talk about food. You may or may not have a break room in your office. Maybe you have vending machines. I don't know if you really want to be smashing glass on them for a 24-hour event. So keeping snacks in your drawer, probably a good idea. Most of us office dwellers do anyway. So I loaded up on some snacks, and I wanted to have protein, fat, sugar for morale, and really long shelf lives. So, and also no cooking needed. So here's what I came up with. The most underrated survival food ever is peanuts. They are incredibly calorie dense, lots of kind of good fats, tasty, having a little bit of salt is kind of nice. This jar was like $6 and has multiple thousands of calories if I was going to eat the whole thing. So big container of peanuts. Got a big thing of M&Ms so I can get a little chocolate, a little sugar, a little morale food, which I learned was very important during the Texas freeze when I was snowed in for 5 days in my house. Also got big bag of beef jerky here, again, for some more protein, fat, and morale. And then a package of the single hitter Gatorade flavor packets. Again, morale, a little bit of electrolytes, a little bit of sugar. So just to kind of lift in spirits up a little bit. So this is my survival food stash. And this would hold me for a couple of days. Again, we're looking at like 1 to 2 days. So all these things are shelf stable. All these things are pretty tasty and gives me a moderately balanced, kind of snack diet. The final category is water, and this is really iffy depending upon how tall your building is and how concerned you are. My office building is 5 stories tall, which means even if there was a power outage, there is a lot of water in the pipes. So flushing toilets and getting drinking water shouldn't be that hard for a few days. If you are in a smaller office where you have more people or you're concerned about something more long-term, there's a possibility that the water might run out. So either which way, I got this 2-pack of collapsible water containers. I'll put links to all this. And this is really neat because it's got a spout down at the bottom. So I think these are like 2 gallons each. So it's 2 of them, that's 5. So I would go in the break room and get up underneath the sink, fill these things up, and then put them on the countertop so I could dispense. I think that the collapsible jugs are superior because they take up less space. And also, if you think about your typical break room sink, it's only, like that deep, you're not gonna get like a full gallon jug mechanically up underneath the sink in most cases. So I think that the collapsibles kind of make more sense and also take up less room. I also have a Sillock key in my bag just in case all else fails. I can go to one of the taps on the outside of the building and get into the water that way. So got a water jug, and I got my Gatorade packets so I can spice this up a little bit and make it a little bit more flavorful. What you're not seeing in this kit is first aid and medical gear because I think that's part of your standard equipment. I have other first aid kits. This is specifically set up for camping out in my office for a day or 2. So these are specific items for that scenario. Well, I hope that gave you some ideas of some things you might consider keeping in your office. Again, this goes above and beyond what's in my vehicle. That's a whole different video. This is I'm trapped in my office for a day or two. How can I make that experience a little bit easier, a little bit more comfortable? Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.